Go for another half an hour and give us the last question.
Yes, welcome back to the Bray and Ethan podcast, episode 110. And of course, it is all thanks to Skinbro. Use code Bray and Ethan20 for 20% off at skinbro.com. And the Essentials kit is now $54.99, which is a bargain, Ethan. Hat Locker. Use code Bray and Ethan20 again. Same code.
Speaking of which.
Yeah, you don't mind that, do you?
It's very comfortable. Australian Open might have been finished, but
The merch doesn't.
the merch doesn't.
Of course, you go to hatlocker.com.au for that. Cheetah Clothing, of course, partnering up again.
Beautiful.
I've just come straight from work, so I've got my work shirt on, and yours is in the wash, I'm assuming.
That is correct.
You've been wearing it almost every day.
That is no word of a lie as well, yep.
Yep.
Thanks to Jack and the team.
Yes, indeed.
Now, the biggest Mayo king behind Sam Greer is in the building. Bryce Jackson, how are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
We putting that one to bed, or do you over-exaggerate a lot of things?
I wouldn't say over-exaggerate. Most of the stories I tell are pretty spot on, but sometimes I put a bit of mayo on some things just to give it a bit of spice. So
Got to.
Now, I don't want to come back hitting hard too much at Sammy because we're very grateful for his time last week. But he did say he was going to stitch you up with some Q&As, and unfortunately, I don't know if he forgot. We sent him the story, and he hasn't come through.
yeah, I'm a bit disappointed about that. I was quite eager to see what he was going to say, but yeah, unlucky Sam.
We'll cover it all though, Sam. Maybe you just knew that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Albany boy, tell us about growing up down there and the beautiful part of the world down there, and I guess how it came to where you are now at Melville.
Obviously grew up in the beautiful part of the great southern Albany.
Yep.
Spent all my time down there, just kicking the footy in the winter season, then playing cricket in summer. Just did a bit of that. Went through the country pathways, and then got the opportunity to represent WA in a state 15s, and then did a stress fracture, so I couldn't go on that. And then the next year after that, actually before that, my brother, the story how I got to Melville is how, my brother made state 17s, and then we put out a feeler for all the Perth clubs asking would anyone take him to play a state under 17s game.
Yep.
Melville were the first to reply, and as a family, we decided, yep, that's good.
First in, best dressed.
First in, best dressed. And then we went and watched his game up in Nialuka, and I went up with Dad, me, Dad, and brother Mitchell. I watched it. I looked at Dad and said, I want to do this as well. So my dad put in a proposition for Melville, said, look, we're happy to come up, travel up every weekend. If you want him, you're going to get a second one as well. And they're like, is the second one any good? And Dad goes, yep. He's not too far off him already, and he's only 14, 15. So that's the story how I ended up in Melville. But yeah, I grew up down there, travelled up, I guess, from 15 to 7 or 16 years old. We did the trip in summer from Albany to Perth every weekend during the summer.
That's a big commitment.
Yeah, it was massive. And throughout that, I had a lot of injuries in between that, so a lot of the time I was kind of going up half a year, stopping half a year. So I still spent majority of my childhood down there.
Yeah.
Then I got the call up to be in the state academy. I think State Fitzgerald at the time rang me up, said, I would like to be a part of the academy. So I think that was in early August. I think it was July I got the call. Me and Mum, Dad sat down. And then we talked about me moving to Perth. So in the space of a month, I think I packed my bags, moved up to Perth. I was up here, had no job for 2 months, got an apprenticeship as an electrician. Did that I actually finished my apprenticeship. And then throughout the whole time, having 3 or 4 stress fractures in between there. And then, after that, got the call. And then, it's where I am today. So
That is massive. So
That's a long
are you driving up on the Saturday morning, driving home Saturday night, or are you staying a night or two?
We're driving up on Friday nights. So I think the first couple of times we did it, we didn't have a place to stay. So I think it was the first month we did it for. We actually slept in truck beds, as in like the side of the road. We slept in the car.
Yep.
I remember waking up, we had like a plastic bowl, little cereal, long life milk, eat that, then go to cricket, and then drive home Saturday night. So I'd play in the morning, and then my brother would play in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah, because junior's obviously the morning, yeah.
Yeah, so he'd play in the afternoon, playing second
Yeah.
grade. I'd play 15s in the morning. So we did that for a couple of months, and then my actual dad's relative worked for a company called Goad's Transport, and kind enough, Roger Goad, he offered us to put a camper trailer in his truck yard in Forestdale, and we actually stayed there for a year.
Yep.
In the camper van, and then he kindly upgraded us to the truck bed above his office, which had aircon,
Nice.
which we didn't have aircon before.
Oh.
So we ended up staying there, and then after that, when I moved to Perth, I had a house to stay up here, so we had actually a house to stay at and a place for the family to stay, and then we did that I did it for 5 years, I think 4 or 5 years, and then my brother's still doing it to this day. So. He stopped playing a couple of weeks ago because he just wants to stay home for a bit.
Yep.
The old man's still making a trip up just to come watch me. So,
Jeez.
we're still doing it.
What a story. I was going to say, like, plenty of times potentially could be a long road trip back after a loss or those injuries, as you said. So, yeah, it's a commitment. Obviously, it's paid off. But you came through the Cricket Australia pathway as well, and then into the 19s with WA. How are those high performances programs, I guess, as a fast bowler steaming in?
It was actually pretty good. I think my group, I had like the likes of Jack Edwards, Jason Sanger, I think Lloyd Pope was there. Trying to think who else. But I actually had a really, really good group. They're just shining through right
Max
now.
Bryant, was he someone there?
Nah, he was a year above.
Okay, yeah.
But I guess it was a surreal experience, like going to that, because coming from the country town that didn't have an indoor centre at the time. I remember in winter I was bowling in footy boots on a footy oval to a stump because I just had to get my loads in.
Yeah.
And just going to I guess the National Cricket Centre was just amazing. You know, seeing what they had, the facilities. I was actually coming from a stress fracture, and it was my first time back bowling at that camp. And it was just, I guess, an opportunity for me just to kind of put my name out there because I was a nobody over there. I knew one bloke who's from WA, Emil Vandermeer. I knew him and that was it. And I actually met Sam Fanning over there as well. He was best friends with my roommate at the time because I was rooming with Austin War at the same time as well. So Ryan McElduff, he was best friends with Sam Fanning, and that's how I met Sam before he even came over to WA. So actually we knew they had that link before we met each other. But going to the 19s, it was amazing. We played it, in Tasmania. We got to play at the Launceston Stadium where Hawthorn play.
Yeah, UTAS.
Yeah, UTAS, that's it. That was amazing. Mum and Dad were there as well, and I think I took my first wicket there, and I think I just ran off, just carried on a little bit, and it was a bit of an adrenaline rush there. But
I assume that would be your first drop-in wicket, ground with a drop-in wicket you've played at?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
What's the difference there?
Don't know.
So those feels the same? Not
Feels
running
the
up,
same.
a hill?
Nah. Well, I mean, at the time, I was just more worried about just putting the ball on the spot and just get it through. But I mean, just being in the stadium itself, it was unbelievable. Like I was turning around, this grass was luscious. You know, it's flat, no bumps in it. You know, it's not footy grass either, so it's what I'm used to down in Albany. But it was just a surreal moment, just being in that, I guess, present time.
I bet.
I think you came through WA cricket with Jordan Clark, who's now at the Dockers.
Yep. Yeah, I actually trained a bit because Jordan moved to Albany, I think, when he was in, 14 or something like that. I remember playing footy with him down in Albany. I had his dad, Russ Clark, as my coach. He was, you could tell he was going to be, a prodigy coming through. But, played with him. We trained with him. We actually got the opportunity to train with Ian Brayshaw down there. The Wacker put that together for us. Me and Geordie trained a bit. Still got that close connection coming through. But, he was bowling fast. I was like, I don't want to face that.
Dual sport athlete.
Yeah. Lucky. Well, the WA rookie contract came in 21-22. Obviously, you said you got an apprenticeship as an electrician, so I'm assuming that's what you're doing work-wise, and I guess how'd you find out at that time?
So that was the year, when was it? Was it COVID that year?
End of it, yeah.
End of it, yeah. So what happened was I actually got time off to go and see my parents because I think it was near the Easter weekend, I think it was. And I went down, I was going to surprise Mum, walk in at work. And then I was about to walk in And I got the call from David Fitzgerald, rang me up. I was like, oh, I must be, because at the time I tore my rotator cuff and lateral tendon. I actually strained my lateral tendon that year. So I was coming back. Didn't have much of a go that year. Then I was like, oh yeah, I'll see what happens, see what he has to say. He's probably just lining up a bowlers meeting, kind of end of season review. Well, I picked up the phone, he's just like, oh, hey mate, how you going? I was like, yeah, good. Just got home down to Albany. He's about to surprise mum. He goes, oh yeah, and start talking for a little bit. And then he goes, oh, got a proposition for you, what would a rookie contract sound for you? And I was like, oh, it would be good, but I don't think I'm near one. And he goes, oh, no, we're offering you one. I was like, nah, come on. And I was like, he goes, no, we're actually offering you one. And I was like, really? And I just for the next minute and a bit, I was just speechless because I was just shocked in that moment. Got off the phone, walked in. I said, oh, where's mum? To the reception lady, a bit rude at the time, but I was in quite a bit of emotion at the time. And I walked in, I sat down in front of mum and I just looked at her and I was speechless and I was legit in tears, in front of her. It was very emotional at the time, and I just looked at her and said, I just got off a state contract. She goes, really? I was like, yeah. And then she's just like, really? And then we both started crying together. Yeah. And I was like, she's like, have you told Dad yet? I was like, no. So I was like, oh, I'm going to tell Dad. And the same thing. He gave me the biggest hug, said, well done, mate. All that hard work and sacrifice we've done is gone for nothing. So, it was very, very emotional.
That is proper sacrifice as well with all the travelling early days as well.
Yeah. Well, it just came out of nowhere. None of us thought of it.
Did you have a manager at this point?
No. I was talking to same managers, Sam Greer, was Zach Peterson from ESA and Michael Oakes. They actually got in contact with me a year before. So he was really establishing that link. And then, I ended up just going straight to him and said, oh, yeah, I'd like to sign up with you. And so, I'm still to this day shocked I still got one, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, they must have been impressed with what they saw because you were upgraded to a full contract for 22-23, where you've been ever since. So, it's only a 1-year rookie contract and then you've been upgraded.
Yeah. No, that year actually, I had a lot of pressure on me, that first year to perform and obviously stay on the park. I haven't had a great history of, being able to stay on the park for longevity. But that year, just first half of the season, nerve-wracking, a lot of pressure, just trying to really force things. And then I went and played the Southern Smash down in Albany, the T20 comp. I got asked to go and play that. It was always good going back to play in my grassroots, go back to Albany, go and see all the guys I used to play with. Then came back and then just something clicked. Something, just clicked for me and ended up having a pretty good season in the end, and they were pretty happy with it and said, we'd like to upgrade you to a full and we see potential with you. So, it was kind of lucky I had a good year and was able to actually show that, none of that, all that sacrifice and what they've done to me and put all the effort into me, it hasn't gone unvain. So,
well, you took home the T20 flag as well for Melville. So reflections on, I guess, that game and night?
Nervous. I was the most nervous I've ever been. I think I was walking back and forth. I actually it was before the game. It was actually going to almost be rained off. It was actually raining before. I was walking back and forth. I had to go and get a Sprite because I was uneasy in the stomach. And then I was actually drinking it and I was shaking in the hand. And I was like, I don't know, I'm really nervous. And I looked at Dad and I said, because my dad and brother, they actually drove up that night, that day to come watch me. And then I was driving home that night. And I looked at Dad and Dad just looked at me and just said, you've got it, mate. I was like, all right. So I was kind of head down. Someone had music on in the room. It was playing, you could just hear it. And I was like, nah, turn that up. I was like, I need pump up right now. I need that pump up. Got out there. I think first ball, I bowled, accidental bumper, top edge, caught. It was Jerry Futurius and I was gone. I was like, you beauty, that's done. First one out of the way. And then, after that, it was just all the nerves are just gone. And then it was just get to work.
It was a thrilling game from memory,
Yeah, we almost shut the bed. We needed I think 7 off the last 2 overs or something. And we had to take into the last over or something. So, I was a bit nervous, but as you know, celebrations go hard afterwards, and it was a good night. I'll say that. That's all I'll say.
Now, you said the pressure on yourself, I guess, in that first year when you're a professional, is there any sort of change in feelings or expectations knowing that you're a contracted player down at Grey Cricket or even in the Southern Smash?
I think a lot of people. There's a lot of eyes on you. I will say that. A lot of people expect you to, I guess, be that next level. And sometimes you get caught in the fact of, I feel like, because I'm state contracted, I have to perform every week. Like I have
exactly
to.
what Sam said.
Yeah, I have to perform every week. Like, I got to take forfeits, FIFAs, everywhere. That's the performance. But as soon as I got back from, I think it was the Southern Smash, I had so much fun down there. There was not a care in the world. Like I did feel a bit of pressure going down, but when I was down there, I just remember it's just a game. It's just a game of cricket. Let's just have fun with it. As soon as I got back, I was the exact same attitude, and I was like, just have fun with it. Just whatever happens, happens. And it seemed to put work because, I ended up doing pretty well with the back end of the year. Took the load off my shoulders. Like, I wasn't trying to force anything, just putting the ball on the spot, letting it do the rest. If it happens, it happens. Nick goes through slips. They can't control that. So I think it's just letting go that added pressure and then just having fun. That's what I will say. Just have fun.
Yeah.
Do the WAC have to clear you to go back to the Southern Smash?
Yeah. Yeah, so I had to get confirmation from him saying, even like this year, the one down there, I was like, actually, I didn't want to go this year, but because I didn't think it was an option. And then the WAC actually came to me and asked me, do I want to play it? And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go and play it. But yeah, like anything, I guess, like a franchise thing, they have to allow you to go. So especially being me, if it works in my workload, so they go, yep, that's no worries, you can go and do that.
How does that work? Is that like a 2-3 day thing?
So 2 days. The first day is just a introduction. So you get to meet your team, get your clothes, meet the captains, just mingle with other guys that are down there as well. And then the first day you play 2 games back to back, and then the second day you play 1 game, and then if you are the top 2 teams, you play the final in the afternoon. Right. So.
And they do a draft as well for it.
Yep.
As well, which
full on draft. You can nominate.
Sick.
Then they just go number, go through each number and just pick their team. So
that's cool.
Now, as mentioned, obviously a bit of a horror run with injury. Talk us about overcoming those setbacks and how much you've sort of learnt now compared to now from 3 years ago. A lot of resilience, I'd imagine. Yeah.
So when I first the first couple stress fractures were, when I was 15, 16, 17. So it was a lot of back-to-back stuff, coming through and then, getting up to lows and then stopping again. And then I think it was okay when I was working at the same time because I had something away from cricket. But I think the last one I had recently was last year actually rocked me a bit in a way where I had nothing to go back to. I came off a great year from a full year playing, and I was like, a lot of expectation coming through this next year is like, you're pushing for selection and stuff like that. And I think last year's one rocked me a bit because I had nothing. I actually questioned myself, like my identity a little bit in that kind of sense where what actually am I? As like, you have work, you go back to work, okay, you're working. After you're injured, you got to go back to real life. Where cricket, when you're contracted, when an injury happens, you kind of look and you go, oh, what do I do now? You kind of lose yourself a little bit. So it's just finding, I think what I did was actually spoke to the development officer, Nicky, at the WACA, and he actually got me onto doing a little bit of uni. And actually at the time I was like, I don't know what to do. And then I was casually scrolling through dating apps at the time. And then luckily enough found my now partner, Danny, if you listen. Found her, and she actually gave me a bit different perspective on things, a lot of things. So she kind of woke me up a little bit, put me on the right track, and actually helped me with deciding what I want to do after cricket. So it was kind of nice having that in the background and something else to kind of, I guess, put my concentration on a little bit. So
I think a question I've got to ask now is with the dating apps. Was there a photo of you playing cricket in your profile?
Say one, yeah. There was one.
Yeah.
That was from the T20 Grand Final.
Yeah, okay. Might have gotten over the line.
No, I wouldn't say.
Dating a pretty decent athlete here.
Nah, I never let off with that. That was always the last thing I'd say.
Yeah, okay.
I would say I was an electrician, and then after that,
well, yeah, because you can put in your job or something. Don't you?
yeah.
So you
I
would put electrician.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that. I'm a professional athlete first because it seems like you're pretty up yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
I would always just kind of just nudge it in when it's the right time. So,
well, obviously everyone at the Wacker would get behind you, but does that thought ever come to your mind? Oh, I've only got so much time, like on my side. I've only got this amount of time to prove myself or whatever. Does that ever come to your mind?
all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. So like, I always get told, your long-term project, but I keep thinking to myself like, how long is a piece of string? It can be cut off at any time.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's also nice having the backing of coaches. Like I had a good conversation with Tim McDonald yesterday. He's just asking how I'm going and just gave me good feedback that, I'm getting a lot of, high praise when I go back to grade cricket at the moment, and performing pretty well, and everyone's pretty stoked the way I'm going. But at the same time, you kind of think, oh, well, I'm on my last year in contract, I really have to perform because there's the uncertainty of, if you're going to get one next year or, what am I going to do kind of thing. So it's a bit hard, especially in a professional athlete kind of space. I'm sure it's the same with footy. You don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen in that time. You can get a real bad injury that ends your career, or you could get delisted just for multiple reasons. So
is this expired coming to an end, this current contract, or do you have another one?
Nah, so my 2 years, I had 2 years on full. It ends this year. So I kind of put that in the back at the moment, just worrying about what's going on forward. But obviously when you're in rehab, you just think, oh, I'm on my last year. What am I going to do? What are they thinking? Because you don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah,
like you can't.
And there's only so much you can do. Like, obviously not going to reveal. Like they probably don't even know themselves. They probably,
well, it's hard. It's not a question you can go and ask as well. It's just like what they can only answer what's in front of them at the time. So it's pretty hard.
You bowled for the first time in 8 months last winter. Is that correct? Saw a video on your Instagram.
Yeah,
maybe?
so that was the first time in 8 months I've actually been able to let a ball go. Just pre-season gone. So, and I think my first game back was just before Christmas, and it would have been a year and 3 months.
Wow.
A year and 3 months since I played. So, it's been a long time. Been waiting a long time. Wasn't a great start, I will say that. But
only upwards from here, hopefully.
Yeah.
Now, of the field, we kind of discussed it, but probably a lot of time to yourself when you're dealing with this. But it seems like you've made a sort of effort to give back to the community a lot down in Albany. I've seen like a lot of clinics and that sort of thing in the Southern Smash to fill in your schedule as well.
Yeah, it's always, they always say, you always look to, give back to what, a lot of the time you kind of sit there and you get opportunities to kind of go down and help juniors. And I always thought, because I remember it was Joe Angel came down to Albany one time and just being an inspiration for anyone else. That's what I think. If I can't be an inspiration for everyone else, what am I doing as a professional athlete?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So go back, help out with anything, and just you never know when you discover you might inspire next Cameron Green or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Bloody oath. Well, Melville hasn't been where exactly you guys would like to be this summer, but it seems like you've had a pretty clean run at it. So what are the goals, I guess, for the last 2 months of the summer?
I think just getting through it.
Yep.
That's the big one. But, just finding a bit of rhythm at the moment, which is slowly coming back to me, and just kind of, I guess, helping out other guys, like the junior guys coming through, being that, person they can just rub off for, ideas and stuff like that, and just being a leader at the club more than anything. That's all I can do at the moment. I try to do as much as I can when I was injured, but it was hard watching and not playing. So, it's just more or less, just kind of having a good finish to the year, regardless of the result. I think we're heading in the right direction, and just it's going to take a little bit more. So.
Before I forget, this wasn't in the notes, but I think I saw a catch that you took. I don't know when it would have been, but it's a diving catch.
Yep.
Talk us through it from Melville.
Yeah, it was Melville against Mount Lawley. Yeah, it was.
Was this caught on Frogbox or something? Or
Yeah,
someone
Frogbox.
filmed
I
it?
think it's a one-hand screamer.
Yeah, no, it was a two-hander.
Was it two-hand?
Yeah.
You can't see on the video too
No,
well.
it was
but
pretty hard.
Yeah.
So that video, it was actually one of the, what was it? One of the one days after Christmas, and they were having a partnership. It was Darius Da Silva and Stewie Walters at the time, and we're kind of like not going anywhere. And then Blake comes on, Darius cloughs it on a toe, and I'm like running back, and then I was just like, oh, it's going over my head, and then I was just like, oh, well, dove, and then I just put two hands out, didn't even see it, and I was just going bang, and I've landed flat on the ground, and I've just gotten up like quick as I have. It's like a worm almost, and I've just gone straight up, and I was just throwing the ball, and I'm just like, what is going on?
So where were you fielding?
Mid on, yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's impressive.
So yeah, it was, and then we were on a hat trick after that, and then funnily enough, if you go through the frog box, you can see it, and the hat trick ball, the guy nicked it, hit the keeper on the pad, and then the guy at first slip or second slip, I won't name him because I won't name him, shame, but the guy at second slip has kneed it, and it's dropped it, and you can just hear the bowler in the background just screaming profanities. It's a great
can't
watch.
be doing that.
Yeah.
So
On a hat trick.
Oh, Instagram Q&As. We're going to kick it off with Mitch_Jackson.
all right.
Is your brother better than you?
I will say he's a better bat than me, but I feel like I've got in the bowling department just due to speed.
You need to get down to the optional net sessions at the Wacker
Yeah,
for the batting.
yeah. I try, but all the batters take it up. So
Really?
yeah, no, I was trying to squeeze in, and then all the big dogs are back, so they get all the priority. So that's right. I'll just bat all day tomorrow and get us over the line.
Mitch again. Who hits a bigger ball between us? You sort of answered it there. If you're better batter.
Yeah,
Unless
I'll
it's
say
mainly
him.
golf or something. I don't know.
If it's golf, I hit a bit longer ball, and then if it's cricket, I'll give him the credit. So
Okay.
yeah, he can have one.
Connor Mannix, is it true you're the third best Jackson at the Stormers behind Mitch and the old man?
Yep, the old man is a well-liked person. He's the only bloke that runs around the boundary in nice cold water, so all the boys love him. And then, yeah, obviously Mitchell as well. So, yeah, I'll take that third.
McCreed C. Highs and lows of cricket and how to deal under pressure when not selected.
I guess highs and lows. I guess you got to stay in the present more than anything. Control what you control. If things are not going your way, well, just go back what you can control in that point in moment. What's the second part? Sorry.
It is how to deal under pressure when not selected.
Oh, it's a tough one. But I mean, it's not hard with WA squad we've got at the moment. You know, you got to earn your spot a little bit.
31 man squad.
A lot
Yeah.
of like international talent. As
Yeah,
well.
I find it hard because I'm always in contention with. So at the time I was contracted, it's David Moody, Lance Morris, Jai Richardson. So we're the out and out, I guess, the strike
Express
bowlers.
pace,
Yeah,
yeah.
express pace. So we're the out and out strike bowlers. So it's hard to fit all of us in one team. So
Especially when two have now played for Australia.
yeah, so it's always hard, but I think
Yeah.
right at the time you just got to buy your time, and then when you get the opportunity, just take it with both hands.
Yeah.
It's like I heard something the other day. Kate Harvey was getting asked about like John O'Wells and Wilbur Zisto if they're going to get a crack because they're just hitting hundreds in grade cricket.
Yeah,
And he was saying like maybe, but we got a 31 man squad. Like
Yeah.
it's just insane that like
Yeah.
John O'Wells is just like it just speaks volumes of I guess Perth cricket really.
yeah.
WA.
Yeah, well, it's putting pressure on the other guys to perform now as well, which is always good. You always want grade cricketers putting pressure on us to perform.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's always good having that, I guess, backing from the other guys as well. So,
Yeah. Clary_Bilson. Please get him to name some of his strength stats in the weight room.
strength stats. Oh, Claz, what are you doing?
Is this a gym related thing or something
Yeah,
else?
he used to be my PT a while back when I was not contracted. I actually can't remember like what some of the stuff I did with him, but I think was it one rep max bench press? It's not great, but it's like 95 kilos or something like that. And then what was the other one? I'm trying to think of the other ones. I haven't got many impressive stats, I will say, but yeah, he's kind of stitched me up there a little bit.
We'll go the other side _12. Why is his nickname the UE Boom?
UE Boom. Oh.
King of the Orcs.
Nah, I can't comment on that. There's a bit behind that. I don't think it's PG rated.
No relation to the turn the music up in that for that final on the UE Beam.
Yeah, we'll say that. Yeah.
Matthew.Crab, what's your pre-game routine, cricket and FIFA with a question mark?
Oh, crabby. Yeah, so pre-game routine, pretty simple. Just a lot of loud music on the way there. I usually rock up to the ground, walk out, look at the crease, look at the ground dimensions kind of thing, mark my run up, and then go back in, get head in right space a little bit, and then go out, do a warm up. It's pretty straight and simple. And then FIFA, oh mate, FIFA. It's pretty between us. We play a little bit of pro clubs, so it gets pretty heated.
Yep.
But no routine with that, actually. Just get in and play. Just start off warm.
Yeah.
You know?
Harry McLeod 4. How good is Joe Stanley?
Yeah, he's good. He's overseas that was playing down in Albany, and I was actually playing him in the Southern Smash, and he actually surprised. I was very surprised of what he did. So what happened was I was because we played the Surge. They played the Surge, and so I was bowling. So I had. I had a third man up fine and deep square, so I was attacking his left-hander. And then I've just gone for 2 near-on perfect Yorkers, and he's just gone inside it and just whipped me over, lapped me over fine leg. And I'm just like, what is going on here? So I was like, all right, if he's going to do that, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to go again. And then I brought third man up, and I've just took a fine leg out, and he's just gone the reverse and just gone that. I'm just like, oh, okay, all right, no worries.
This guy signed up for a Big Bash contract.
Oh man, I was so shocked when it happened. I was just like, credit to him. You know, great shot. You just got to kind of commend that stuff. Like, mate, that's unbelievable.
What's the fastest you've ever bowled, by the way, if you know?
In a game, officially, I'll say officially and unofficially, because a lot of guys can put Mayo on it, but unofficially, I got clocked 145 in the nets, and then in a game, I got clocked at 142. 143. I think 142, 143. So
140s.
Yeah. So it's up there.
Yeah.
Not Lance Morris space, but it's up there.
He was a bit disappointing, I thought, in terms of his speeds, because obviously they've got the radar on the TV, and they're all talking at 150, 160. I don't think I saw him get over 150 once.
Nah, I mean
in the one day that he played.
Yeah.
No one's getting 160 though, unless you like Sean Tate.
Yeah.
Right, well, they talk him up as the wild thing.
I know, but
yeah.
Pete _Damotti.
Darmody, maybe.
Darmody. Does that sound right? Ask me about Sam killing right.
Yeah. Sam. So he's another overseas playing down in Albany. He's playing for my old club, Collingwood Park. He's bowls quite sharp for I can't remember how old he is, but I actually because we had a fast bowling comp down in Southern Smash. He actually kind of owes me on a little bit, but
when you say a fast bowling comp, what do you mean by that?
So they have a speed gun, like a handheld.
Yeah, so fastest.
Yeah, the fastest bowl.
Right.
So I came off half run just for qualifying. You got to get top 10 qualifier.
Yeah.
He came in 130, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll match that 130. Came in, I was just like, all right, I'm in qualifying. And then what happened was the final was in between the changeover innings of the grand final, and I was just like, no, I'm gonna.
Were you playing in the grand final?
Yeah. So I was just like, I'm just gonna spend my tickets wisely here and pull out. So I pulled out, and then they're bowling in the middle, and then they're clocking 131, 132, and I'm to the side warming up, and after what happened, some people came up to me and they're like, why didn't you put in? You were bowling so much quicker on the warm up rather than them, and I was just like, look, I was gonna spend my tickets better and spend it in the grand final, and
fair enough.
But credit to him, he's working hard. He's down there. My old man's got a bit to do with him. He's trying to help him out with his bowling technique and stuff like that. And if he's listening, you can always hit me up, mate, and I'm willing to have a chat with you. So
just giving free shout outs here, aren't we? Ben _Robo7. How far are you hitting your driver at the moment?
So I average about. We want meters. Well, yeah, I only know meters. So
meters, yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'm averaging about 270, and then I think my max was actually a couple of weeks ago. It was 300. So
where's the number one course?
At the moment, Collier.
Collier, yeah, that's probably one of the best public courses, I'd say. In Perth.
Yeah, I went and played Hillview the other day. That was actually quite nice.
It's out my way, but a lot of my mates hate it. But I'm like, well, it's not that bad. I've played on worse courses.
Yeah.
I like it. Luke Holt, 27. Will you be playing for the Drags next year?
No, I will not be. I think I'm staying at Melbourne.
Keep that Melbourne shirt on.
Yeah, repping Melbourne at the moment. I'll stay in Melbourne.
David_David.Melling2. When will you get an opportunity in the Sheffield Shield?
Unfortunately, Dave, I will not be getting one in the next year and a bit, just due to my loads not being up. I have to, I guess, have a decent year, get my loads back up, especially like bowling back to back. Yeah. As you saw, like Matt Kelly went down, obviously in the Sheffield Shield just gone, and they relied a lot on Charlie Stobo and Joel Paris, and I think they bowled about 40 overs between them. So it's a big ask for I guess a bowler to kind of be ready for that. I don't think I'm quite ready for that just yet. So I'll let the other boys do that, and I'll just keep bowling.
So what would you normally bowl in a 2-day game?
So the year I was actually up and going, I would bowl about 15 overs. Yeah. That was because I was on the restrictions at the time, and then I'll just bowl 15 overs. And then when I played second 11 that year, it was 15 and then 10 in the second innings. Right. So I was only 25 for the game. Yeah. And then this year I started off with 10 overs, just at 1-day loads, and then I've crept up to 12 at the moment. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, there's a lot of behind it. Yeah, it's a big jump. I felt it from the weekend when I bowled 12. I was like, oh yeah, I've missed this. Yeah.
So would you say the 1-day cup squad, whether it's this year, next year for WA, is something you're really aiming for?
Yeah.
So I guess that progression upwards, that sort of platform.
Yeah. So I got told, I got given the decision, obviously when I had a stress fracture last year. I was coming through the pre-season this year. I started having soreness on my right side. So I had cracking on my right of my L5. So I got a defect on L5 on my left, a cracking on my right. And at the time, I was like contemplating 3 decisions. So one of the decisions was keep going through and just focus on white ball. Second one was have surgery. And the third one was just complete rest. And I was like, nah, I'm just going to keep going through. So they talked about white ball. So there's opportunity, obviously, with BBL and then the 1-day stuff. So I was striving for that a little bit. Obviously, the season's coming to an end, but there's always next year kind of thing. So I've been kind of told like white ball's more of a focus at the moment. So developing those skills at the moment can put me in better off next year.
I think that's naturally happening, whether it's injury or just preference, like, the differential between white ball and red ball cricket. Someone like Jason Behrendorff probably leaning more towards the white ball. Ashton Agar, probably the same, and then it probably goes the other way in some senses, but I reckon it's happening. It's general cricket. It's just probably too hard to play all 3 forms.
Yeah, it's hard on some people where their body doesn't allow them. Like Jason Behrendorff, he's had back surgery and it hasn't allowed him to kind of get the loads up, or not loads up, but be able to get up for 4-day cricket. So he's accepted the fact that he's white ball, and he's excelling in that kind of space. So it's always something to look at in the later future. But I mean, I've always got the dream to play red ball again. But you never know.
In progress.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's that time.
Oh no.
It's the quiz.
Can we just get over a 10, a par 10?
So Hamish McKenzie, Josh Vernon, and Sam Greer are all on 10. So that's, in a golf term, that's your past score. It was last year and it is again this year.
Bragging rights up for grabs over these boys.
So, yes, we have to try and improve. Question number 1. From 13 games this season, all up so far, how many wickets have you taken?
13 games. So, 2, 7... what did I take? I took one against Subi. I'd say about, it was 11?
14.
Oh, shit. Oh, well. There goes the past score, boys.
No.
Plenty questions.
Still plenty left. The best you can get is now 13.
Yeah. True or false? 14 is also the ladder position. Melbourne's ones currently sit on the 2-day ladder. True or false?
False.
True.
We have
is it true? Oh, I thought, no. I was thinking of 16. Oh, well.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time. None from 2.
Question number 3. How many catches have you taken from your 13 games this year?
Is it 3? 2?
4.
Oh. Yeah, I told you I'll be bad at this.
We've seen comebacks before.
We
Yeah.
have.
Yep.
Number 4, your top score with a bat this season is 32. How many balls did this come off?
32.
Oh,
That
there
was
we
on the
go.
board.
That was recent. That was really recent.
1 from 4. Question number 5. True or false again? This is the only time your strike rate has been 100 or higher this season.
True or
True or false?
I'm assuming batting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Think about this one as well.
Don't just think Melville.
Is it false?
Correct.
Yeah.
You scored 1 off 1 in the Southern Smash.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Counts.
Flying.
Yeah, please.
2 from 5. We're back.
32 is also the same amount of runs you were hit for in your best ever bowling figures. How many wickets did you take here?
6.
Correct.
What grade was that?
That was seconds,
Senior.
and I actually took 10 for the game.
10 for the game.
10 for the game to get us in the
Impressive.
grand final.
That's big. 3 from 6. We are now flying. How many sixes did you hit in that recent innings of 32?
3.
Bang.
Correct.
Correct.
We're coming back.
4 from 7. Flying.
Question number 8. How many wickets did you win the T20 flag for Melville by?
What's it? Who was in? I think I was on next in. I think it was, we won by, was it 3 wickets?
Apparently it's 6. I don't know if that's
yeah.
controversial.
Yeah,
but
probably is,
4
yeah.
down.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really reflect how close the game was when you say like 6 wickets when
Yeah.
you win by like when you're chasing and you win in the last over. I
Yeah,
think it
to
was.
be honest, that night's
Yeah.
a blur for me. So
Other than the celebrations and the UE boom.
The result that matters.
yeah,
Still 4 from 8.
This
Question
one
number
might
9.
stretch the memory, but hopefully.
The number of ins for the 21-22 WA contract list when you were added is the same amount of outs the other way. What would that number be?
so who came in? So it was Hamish. No, Hamish
You
was the year after.
included, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Cooper, myself. I'm trying to think who else. It was a lot. I'm trying to think who else came in and came out. Was it like 3?
Correct.
Was 3. Who is that?
It was me, Cooper, and someone got full contract, and then it was Jake Carter.
I think Teague Wiley might have got a contract.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, he was rookie, wasn't he? Yes,
I'm
he
just on
was,
it
yeah.
now.
It was me, Cooper, Teague, and Jaden. Oh no, it was Fanning. Yeah.
Corey Roccacelli came in.
Oh,
Cooper
yeah,
Connolly
okay.
came in. Bryce. The outs were Jake Carter, Brad Hope, Liam O'Connor.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because Teague actually missed the rookie contract. He went to a full one.
Yeah.
Question number
That's
10,
correct.
and
So
we're
on
on 5. So the best we can get here is a 10.
Oh no.
5 points up for grabs. So 5 if you get it bang on. 4 if you're within 3. 3 if you're within 5. 2 if you're within 10. And a point for anything outside. So bare minimum we can get here is 6.
Yeah.
Across your entire cricket career, according to my cricket, how many teams have you represented in 1 or more games?
How far is it going back? Because
I think it's to 2017.
Is it clubs or teams? Because that could be the key word. Because obviously, like 17s and like, you know,
yeah,
15s, same club.
yeah. I'm assuming it's clubs.
I think it is clubs.
Yeah, that's club.
But not all of them are like clubs, so to speak, if that makes sense. Like
Just teams. So, but like, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously different grades at the same club doesn't count. That's just
Yeah,
the
okay.
one club.
So you got Melville.
So
obviously.
in a way, you could say organisations.
Yeah. So Melville. I'll throw in Collingwood Park just so I can. Obviously Elders, Secret Harbour. Would second 11 count in that?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yep.
I'm trying to think who else.
5.
What else? I'll say 6.
You're within 3. So the answer's 9 teams.
9.
Yeah. Apparently. There's
What were they?
WA, there's there's Country Gold, Wacom Metropolitan, Goldfields Regional Cricket Board.
Yeah. That's
So,
way before
you with it?
2017.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
that's 9.
Score. Yeah, broke the pass score. Oh, well.
That's a bogey,
Well.
technically.
I was using my game.
It's all right.
It's not bad. Out of 14,
There will be people
comfortably.
worse than that.
there
throughout the
will
year.
be. I had to say it, but it's just bound to
It
happen.
will. Yeah.
Well.
It's
Considering what the whole year ahead.
There is always one. There is always one. Well, of course.
Can't be the norm, I guess.
That's correct.
Of course, thanks to Skinbro and Hat Locker and Cheetah Clothing. All the 3 guys there do great stuff and support the show very nicely. Links to the show notes will be in there. The links will be in the show notes to their stores with all the discount codes
And
as
that's
well.
the 3rd week in a row you said that, but that's all right.
Yep.
Same applies.
Yep. Same applies. Just reminding everyone. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, you can watch on YouTube and vice versa. Subscribe, 5-star rating, like, whatever. It's nice. Helps us out. But you've changed something here as well, Ethan. Usually it's been the same every time, but
What?
it says thanks to the Mayo King for coming on today, and all the
Maybe I'll
best.
leave that down.
And all the best for the rest of the summer.
Thanks, gents. Thanks for having me.